I had this weird dream that my grandma was like, I disown you.
Perfect
Weird.
timing with Mother's Day weekend right here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like literally like I was like, Feliz Dia de las Madres, and she was like, Ya no te quiero. I don't want you anymore. I don't love you. And I was like, okay.
Actually, I
Um,
did wake up this morning to see one of the astrologers I follow talking about how there's I forget what the conjunction is, but there is something going on with the dark Lilith, like dark moon placement right now that is bringing up a lot of mommy issues and grandma
oh
issues, just
damn,
all the maternal issues. Like, this is the time to like process and work through that. Just again, great timing for Mother's Day weekend.
love, love it.
Yeah. But I mean,
Wonderful.
it
Today
also
is
connects, yeah, it's all like the inner child, wounded healing, mommy issues.
makes sense. Today is Mexican Mother's Day. Um,
Are
okay,
you
I'm
celebrating?
trying to. I made arroz con leche. I guess that's my celebration. I think I gave my white husband a new ick because I was like, here, try this. And, like I grew up with it, right? I was like, yeah, that's arroz con leche. And I gave it to him, and he was like, this is rice, and it's sweet. It's not my bag. And
So
all
he's
I could
not
do
like
was
a
laugh. I was
mango
like,
sticky rice person either, I'm assuming.
yes, yeah, no, I don't think he's ever tried, like, he
Really
prides
showing his
himself,
whiteness
growing
there.
up in, yeah, he grew up in LA, and so he's like, I understand Spanish, I'm hip, and, yeah, I was like, here, have some arroz con leche, and he was like, mm, mm. And it was like hilarious. I was like, I don't know why. I was like, why do I feel super Mexican right now? Like, why do I feel like I should, like, quítate, señor, let me clean, let me clean.
Yeah. I mean, that was me living with white people. Anytime I'd bring out any of my like Japanese curry mix and I start whipping something up, I'm like, I'm so Asian. I'm like eating my mochi and I'm like, let me introduce you guys to all the good things.
Let me give you guys some culture.
Yes. And we're going to teach you how to use other seasonings other than salt. Dude, I remember, oh my God, I love my friend to death, but she one day was so excited. She was like, oh my God, I'm gonna make Hawaiian haystack. She was like, I'm sure you've had that all the time, right? Growing up in Hawaii. I was like, what the fuck is that? Have you ever heard of Hawaiian haystacks?
No,
It is
what the
the
fuck?
whitest dish I've ever heard of. It's like, wait, let me look it up because I'm gonna describe it wrong. Apparently, it's a big
Is it
thing
like
on
fucking
in like
Hawaiian?
Utah. It has pineapple. I think that's what makes it Hawaiian.
I was just dead ass gonna ask. I was like, is it gonna be like
Yeah.
fucking Hawaiian pizza? It's like, let's just put some pineapple on that motherfucker, and it's Hawaiian.
Okay. It is a convenience dish composed of a rice base and several toppings. So it's got like chicken, gravy, diced pineapple, diced tomatoes, Chinese noodles, like the crunchy things that they put on like Chinese chicken salad, cheese, celery, and coconut. And they made
Why?
it. That's her boyfriend's like favorite meal. He was so excited that she made it. It is the blandest, whitest thing I've ever seen.
I'm like trying to figure out like the conglomeration of flavors. I mean,
I
pineapple,
eat some
gravy,
weird shit.
celery.
I'm a girl dinner girl. I'm a girl dinner girl, but like that's a lot of textures and things together that I don't know
That's
about.
my
Rice,
brain can't
pineapple,
compute.
Chinese crunchy noodle things, gravy, chicken. They put black olives on theirs too, so there's that element in there. No offense to my
God,
white friends, but like I don't know what you guys are doing.
thank you.
Not for me. Not for me. I respect it.
Mm.
Just not for me. And I eat some weird shit. I know I eat some like sad girl dinner things that look bland as fuck too, but I own it.
Yeah,
I got the
of
palate
course.
of a toddler, you know?
Actually, speaking of toddlers, since having arroz con leche, my son keeps fucking asking me, how do you say this in Spanish?
Oh, that's
I'm like,
cute.
yeah.
You little
He's like,
bilingual
how do you say,
baby.
yeah. He's like, how do you say boots? I was like, botas. He's like, that's cool. Like, sure is, buddy. It's fucking gnarly. He's like, how do you say that in Spanish? I was like, a toda madre. I don't. Gnarly
That's
is
really
a
cute.
white word that doesn't translate. Yeah, that's
That's
funny.
always,
Um,
I've always been so jealous of people that are bilingual. I think that's so fucking cool to be able to like just hop between languages. It's like a
um,
superpower. To me, it's such a superpower.
yeah. There have been times though where I'm like, sleep deprived and or just fucking tired and I can't switch back. Like my brain gets stuck in one language. It's funny. Um, yeah, trying to teach the kids Spanish. I'm like, but me teaching them Spanish means like watch Miss Nena on YouTube, kids. Look at that. Look, she's teaching you Spanish. I'm like, let's count together. Uno. And yeah, I gotta be better about
It's
that.
hard.
But it's so hard because like I don't know, especially like I'm trying really hard to just not be my parents, and it's hard to do it in English, let alone English and in Spanish. It's like oh my god, almost double the work.
Yeah, it definitely is hard. And I mean, like, I don't know, like my former bosses, they both are first generation Korean, so like their parents, obviously Korean is their first language, like they barely speak English, and yet their parents didn't teach them Korean. They sent them to Korean school. So like they're like pretty fluent in Korean, but not as fluent as they should be, considering like they should be fluent because that should have been what their
Yeah,
parents
exactly.
taught them.
Like at home, like how do you just not learn that
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah. So I know
And
like for
how? Oh,
them,
yeah,
like talking to them about it, they always said like, they get why their parents didn't because they were trying to help them like acclimate faster to America, which I get, but they always say like they wish they had just like it kind of sucks that they're not as like fluent as they should be because it's like embarrassing when they're or like to them it seems embarrassing when they're trying to have conversations with people because they do business in Koreatown with all the Koreans and like their Korean is not quite on par with like what it should be for a first
Korean.
gener like what's expected because you know that it's all the
Yeah,
expectations and
yeah,
I know it's the same with like Spanish too, right? Because I have friends who are like, you don't speak Spanish, like how dare you, like that means you're not as
yeah,
in touch with your culture, da 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 da.
yeah. And I gotta tell you, like growing up too, like it made it hard that I wasn't as confident in my Spanish speaking, even though like I grew up with like my Spanish speaking grandparents, like it was Spanish all day long, every day. It was my first language. But growing up, like my older cousins, like would make fun of me if I messed up on a word, and so it was like, why do I even bother trying to speak Spanish? And then when I got older, and then I was like taking AP Spanish in high school, and I was like, that's actually not how you say things. They were like, yeah, okay, like, you know more than us. And I was like, actually, kind of do. You sound real stupid. Um,
I mean, the
and
audacity to tell
and
someone I know how to speak your language better than you do is like,
and it's like, and yeah, they all grew up speaking Spanish, and they sound like they're from Mexico. Um, but like academically, like I was like, you're fucking that shit up. Um, yeah, it was just it was odd. And now being away from Spanish speakers every day, all day, for the last 5 years, like sometimes like Bobby will ask me like, hey, how do you say this in Spanish? I'm like, oh fuck, hold on, let me switch brains. And then it's like, wait a minute, did I say that? And I feel like I'm really forgetting my Spanish, and I can tell really when I talk to my grandma. I don't talk to my grandma often as I should, partly because I'm on my healing journey. But like when I do call, I'm like, oh, this conversation is shit, and it's in part because of my lack of Spanish. I actually like went to school with some dude like growing up. His parents were Chinese, and they were like trying to learn English, right? And so that's all they spoke. So he didn't really speak Chinese. So we're like, so what? How do you interact with your parents? He's like, I kind of don't. We do the basics, but like there's a language barrier. Like I don't really speak Chinese. They don't really speak English. It's like, oh my God, what? And
Dude,
he was
that's gotta be
failing
so
every single
hard.
class. Yeah, he was just like messing around, failing every class. And when he showed his parents his report card, they he's like F stands for fantastic. And he got away with it for quite a while until he finally came clean, and then it was just like, ah, dude, you're in trouble. He's like, I can't
Damn.
socialize after school. I'm in trouble. Um,
Damn.
yeah.
I I really hate the fact that like my family is so disconnected from our Japanese culture. Cause like my grandma would only speak Japanese if she was absolutely forced to. Like and I
Really?
know she was more fluent. Like she probably could have like taught us, but she didn't feel confident speaking it. So she just
Mm,
like wouldn't do it. And like my
yeah.
mom I know knows more than I do. I know like bare minimum. But my accent I was always made fun of for, so like I kind of just like stopped trying in Japanese.
Yeah, shaming for not being absolutely fluent, being shamed for being a beginner is such a fucking problem. This is like, it deals with your self-confidence, but also how are you supposed to get anything done if you're constantly being knocked down? Like,
Yeah.
people are so, I feel like we as a society are so focused on being professionals at everything we do. It's like, hurry up, we gotta be successful because we're not allowed to make mistakes. We're not allowed to be beginners. And it's like, like with this podcast, like we were just talking about how like cutting together videos in iMovie, like, um, and this isn't supposed to be stressful. This isn't supposed to be pressure. And it's like, we're still brand new at this. We're doing pretty fucking good for being brand new at this. Like, we can take it easy on ourselves. We can take it easy on
Yeah.
everybody else. And I
We
know that the way that we talk to each other is just a projection of the relationship that we have with ourselves. But as kids, we don't know that. As kids, we don't really understand that. So the shaming is like, yeah, I know you're judging yourself and it's coming out as judgment of me. I don't know how to separate that. I'm gonna internalize this.
Yeah.
Core memory
And it's gonna
unlocked.
stay. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I'm so glad you brought up the whole like perfectionism thing. So we definitely live in a society that emphasizes this need for perfection right away, and everything has to have like some sort of value to it. You can't just do something for the sake of doing it. It's always like, well, why are you doing it? Like, how can you monetize it? Or like, well,
Exactly.
you're not that good at it, so like what's the point in doing it? I hate that. I absolutely hate when people are like, oh, we're not that
Oh
good
my
at it yet, so
God.
like what's the point? Or like, you can't make any money off of it, what's the point? It's like the point is to just do it,
You
because life sucks and it's hard, and we just got to do shit sometimes because it feels good,
create
like,
to express yourself.
yeah,
Create to clear up your sacral chakra. And, you know,
literally.
just
Like we have to express, take whatever we have to transmute, we have to do that alchemy, take all the shit that's happening and find ways to process it. Have you heard the Macklemore song that
no,
dropped? I
no.
don't know if it's on streaming platforms yet, but it's on like YouTube and Instagram, I think. But Macklemore basically like wrote this amazing fucking song about like the whole Palestine situation, and it's like
Oh,
one of the
I'm gonna have
most
to listen.
powerful. Like it's powerful. The lyrics, like that is 100% some alchemy, some transmutation magic, sacral chakra like energy in that
Oh
shit.
my God, please send. Please send it to me.
I
Because
will
I'm
send.
not
I
gonna
will
lie,
literally send you a link.
I feel so out of touch with society and all the cool things that are happening. Like, and I feel like I've just been like, yes, I'm listening to cool things, but it's also not what other people are listening to. Like, I feel like most people aren't. listening to the new Wiggles album that dropped, the Rave album. Um, that shit
Actually, you'd
goes
be
hard,
surprised.
to be
I've heard a
honest.
lot of people talking about it on TikTok. Like a lot of ravers have been
Rave of
talking about it.
Innocence, big fan of Rave of Innocence, okay? They killed that.
And
And
I mean, they
like,
have the hot wiggle now too, right?
I'm still so uncomfortable with that goddamn hot wiggle. I am so uncomfortable. Oh my god. Catch me in the mezzanine. I will not be in the pit because he looks like the type that would crowd surf. I can't catch all that muscle. You know? Like, I, dad bods only. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be so aggressively angry about
He's also
it. Just,
tatted too, so like I'm just picturing the sweat on the tattoos. Oh, dang.
oh my god. Yeah. It just, I only recently started listening to the Wiggles, right? Like, I didn't grow up with that. And I, I'm the right age for them, but I just didn't. And it wasn't until like Bo that Bobby was like, like, oh, let's play the Wiggles. And I was like, what is this? And then he started playing it, and now I'm like, like I go hard.
Yeah.
I was like, catch me in the pit, and now it's like, I don't want to be anywhere near the pit. Look at all that muscle. I'm intimidated. This is not cathartic. But I love the fucking rave of innocence. Like Bobby and I were like, let's go hard. Let's do this. This is a rave I'd go to because it's like a rave, but it's also gentle.
Yeah, like comforting. I feel like the
Mm-hmm.
only raves I can do are like house raves, and even that, I feel like I'm in my grandma era, like my hermit mode. I want to be like in a cottage. I know I just moved to New
Same.
York, so that's probably so contradictory, but like I still this my room is my little cottage. I'm a little hermit witch, just like retreating and hiding away and emerging from my cave when I want to.
Yes, I need it. I'm like this fucking close to being, you know what? We're gonna go live in the forest. And we're gonna dance with the trees. And
If
Elizabeth
I thought I
chases
had the
birds
survival
gently.
instincts, like if I thought I could
Come on.
survive in the wild, I totally would try to, but I know myself. I am way too cityfied. I need modern plumbing. I need running water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
as
want to
much
live
as
off
I'd love
grid,
to
but I
believe
don't
I
want
could
to.
be a wild fairy, I'm not a wild fairy in reality.
Yeah, I think I could live off grid, but it would have to be completely like modernized. Like I'm gonna set up plumbing. And it's the whole thing. Like I can't live in the mud, Like and before you left, we were like,
Yeah,
let's get in touch with nature, and then we were in nature, and we're like, hmm, there are bugs, hmm. And then you got stung
the
by a fucking bee.
overstimulation.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
and then
my
we were
God, I
doing it
forgot
with
about
these
that.
two fucking toddlers, and and it was hot, so hot and muggy. And it was a beautiful time. It was magical, but also, what the fuck?
A lot of stimulation. There's so much in nature. Like it's always, I love going out into nature, but it's
Yeah,
so much. It's so much.
it's
Like
it's it's a gear change for sure.
dude, am I dumbass? I forgot that like East Coast code is different than like Hawaii code. So, like I'm looking at the
Mm,
weather app from Hawaii and I'm like 60 degrees. I got this. Yeah, like it's been 60 degrees in the
mm-mm,
morning in Hawaii. That's fine. I'm running around in shorts. East Coast code is very
mm-mm.
different. I vacuum sealed all my coats and I had to very quickly undo that situation because your girl needed them. It's been like 50
And it's
degrees all day today.
and it's
Like it's cold.
spring. Do we
Yeah.
send you a parka? Do we dress you up like Ralphie from A Christmas Story and like or
Luckily, I
Randy?
went to
Randy.
Utah enough times. I got the like heavy duty shit for my ass, so I should be okay. But
Nice.
supposedly summer's right around the corner. Global warming.
Oh
Who
my,
knows? But we'll see.
the cold is gonna be so cold. Even
Yeah.
very extremes. It's gonna be so hot, and then it's gonna be so cold. God damn it. But sure, let's burn fossil fuels. This poor planet. This poor
I'm
planet. We're
so
just
tired of
fucking it up.
people like getting mad or like irritated with me when I say I'm not feeling very patriotic. at all towards this country because I'm like, I have every right to not feel patriotic. This country is a dumpster fire burning down right now.
It
Like, what do
is
I have
a
to be excited
shit
about?
show.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's
I
fucking
would
embarrassing.
love I would love to be able to root for America. I would love to be proud of this country. But this country continuously always chooses the choice that I cannot stand behind. So I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do, you know?
Mm. Like, I want to be loyal. I do. I want to be loyal. I was taught growing up, all the propaganda in school, like,
The American dream,
be
you know? I want to
the
believe
American.
it.
I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then you wake up and it's like, you've been lying to me this entire time, and I feel disrespected and unheard. This is not
Mhm.
okay. And it's like, and then we get gaslit. And it's like,
Well, everyone's been
you're making
discussing
it
Gen
real hard to
Z.
like you.
Yeah. I mean, from a
Yeah.
psychology standpoint and like sociology standpoint, I am so fascinated by Gen Z and like the Generation Alpha because these like they're the discourse happening is very much valid because Gen Z, we were the generation that was brought up seeing the reality of the world because millennials still kind of had like the boomers got to live with the lie and like got to believe the lie because they were fine. They did all the shit that they were told to do and like it paid off for them for the most part. So millennials saw that and they still had hope and like potential. So they got like the first initial burnout because they're like, oh shit, this shit isn't working out. Like it only worked for the boomers, not for us. Gen Z, we got raised by like the boomers and millennials. So we're like seeing all that. And we're like, oh, we're just fucked. And we're also preparing for school shootings all the time. So like we're all in like fight or flight mode. And we're being told to care about the world as we're being told like, oh, the government won't protect you. You might die at any point. You're gonna work your like ass off for the rest of your life. You're not gonna own a house. Like all this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. But also, hold on really quick. We're two different generations. Because I'm a millennial.
Oh shit.
I,
I'm the first year of Gen Z.
yeah, I've done the cutoff. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm literally the first year
for a
of Gen
second, I'm
Z.
like,
So I
oh,
technically have millennial traits, but I will say I am starting to identify more with the Gen Z outlook on
mm,
life.
I love that. I love that.
I
It
totally
just threw me
forgot we
for a
were.
second. I was like, wait a minute.
No, I totally forgot about that.
And yeah.
I always forget that I'm the first year for Gen Z. But
Oh,
yeah,
cuff baby.
it is so interesting though. Like I saw somebody talking about that, like the whole like having to train for like school shootings and stuff, and like being raised with that
Yeah.
mentality and like what that does to you. And I'm like, oh yeah, like like thinking about it, the trauma that is ingrained in every single child in America is insane. And like I've seen posts from like people in other countries talking about how they can always tell like Americans in crowds and stuff because like random like a car exhaust will go off or like a random loud noise will go off and the Americans will always like
Jumpy
flinch or jump
motherfuckers.
and nobody else does. I mean, my ass,
Yeah.
like I'm definitely like always trained to like I see anyone reaching into a pocket and I immediately I'm like on guard, like what the fuck is gonna come out of there, you know?
Yeah. I I don't know. I feel safer being marooned on a little island. It's not so little, but you get it. And I feel safer being marooned on this island. And import laws being what they are. Like, though people show up with like illegal fireworks, I'm like, if you can do that, I'm sure you can get a gun. But
Well,
I
the
don't.
the
I
issue with
worry.
Hawaii is it's an island, so like things could pass through very easily. Because I know that that's why like Hawaii has a very bad drug problem
Yes, yes, that's
and
yep.
sex
Mm-hmm.
trafficking. Because every all the sex traffickers go through Hawaii too, supposedly. Like that's why I know like the Hawaii airport they tell you to be extra careful because people pass through there.
Wow, I
So
did
also you get to
not
Asia.
know that.
Asia from the mainland. That's like
Since,
the port. I didn't know that until I moved to LA. Ironically, it was when I first applied for my old bartending job and I was interviewing because the owners like they have cousins from Hawaii, so like they brought it up. They're like, "Oh yeah, so like like they're like, "Oh yeah, like isn't the coke problem over there so bad?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" They're like, "Well, everything passes
yeah,
through there." I was like, "What?" They're like, "I mean, yeah, some shit just comes like straight up from Mexico, but like a lot of shit like passes through Hawaii." I was like, "Oh, fun facts." And then moving back to
mm,
Hawaii and bartending there, my small town in Mililani, oh, everyone that like I would not think would be a cokehead was a fucking cokehead. So
Jesus.
it's
Yeah,
kind of there is definitely a dark,
I hadn't
weird
thought about that.
undercurrent there.
Oh man,
There
and I
is
was
a
over
weird
here
dark
like, my
black
kids are
market in
safer.
Hawaii. Not to like
Mm,
make you
not,
scared. I definitely still think that Hawaii is safer than the mainland. Like if I had
yeah,
children, I would probably feel safer raising them there than anywhere else. But like if you ever send them to like private schools, just be very aware. Like private school kids, they're the ones known for like having all the drug problems because they got the money for it. So
yeah,
like
and I don't have money for private school yet, so, and honestly, I've been thinking about it, like, I might have to homeschool my kids because knowing, I grew up in LA, right, and the public system's okay. Here, public school system, it's a little bit more lenient, a little bit more lax, and I worry about my neurodivergent son, and I don't want to rob him of the experience of going to school and making those social connections, but I also don't want it to fuck up his education, you know? Like,
yeah.
he's got a very interesting little brain, and I'm trying to learn it, and I don't see how a teacher who has to also teach like 15 plus up to 30 other students, you know, like he can't cater to one kid's needs, and I'm not
What
saying
I
my kid's more important than other kids, but he's fucking important to me, man.
Yeah, well, and you want what's best for your kid because that's your kid
Yeah.
and that's your job is to make sure that he's set up for success. Um,
Mhm.
I will say like that's something too that I've kind of thought about. Like if I were to have children, I don't know that I would send them to school. Like I think I actually probably go the homeschooling route too. Mainly just because like I think about like my trauma from not being
Yeah.
accommodated in school. And it's really just because like the teachers weren't well equipped. They're not trained as well as, and I'm not dissing teachers. I love teachers. I want to make it clear their jobs are fucking impossible, but there are a lot of things that they're not necessarily trained on, like behavioral, emotional things. Like
Yeah.
I feel like all teachers or anyone working in any, just everyone in general should be forced to take psychology classes just to have a better understanding and empathy of like how to work with other people. Um, but I know like listening to my mom vent about the shit she sees at work. She's a department head for SPED, so her job is to help mentor and train all her other SPED teachers, and she's constantly having to just explain to them basic like to me like what is basic like empathy, compassion, just like hey, well like we don't know what's going on at home with them. Like, you know, it might not just be that they just need meds. Like maybe there's something else. Maybe like there's some sort of family stuff. Like we don't know. Like she's having to explain all
Yeah.
this shit to these teachers and like hearing all that, that just always like really frustrates me because I'm like, dude, like I like I
Yeah.
know the kids meanwhile in the meantime are not getting the support that they need because the teachers are having to be taught how to show up for them, which I understand. Like, no, again, raising kids is impossible. Teaching is an impossible job. Like, there's no perfect solution to this. And, like, the teaching system is
Yeah.
so fucked right now. They're all overworked. They're all overwhelmed caseload wise, like, especially in SPED. Like, there's not enough
Underpaid.
coverage. Yeah, the teachers are fucked. They're underpaid. They're all burnt out. There's no winning. But
Yeah.
also, the homeschooling
It's
thing is
really
hard too
hard.
because then it's all on you. So. I
Yeah.
not to be like the
Yeah.
Libra of this, but like I definitely see
No,
both
I get
sides to
it.
the situation and it's fucking hard. I sympathize with you so much having to be a parent and make those calls.
It's so hard, and like we want to get him to school because it's like he can burn more energy there. But what if he's got so much energy that people are constantly getting mad at him for not sitting in his fucking chair? And, it's like I have to feed him on the go, like as he's running by, because that's just his ADHD,
Yeah.
And I remember like my ADHD, like, oh man, I've always just been so chatty. Once you get me going, I can't stop. And constantly being moved around in my classes or being told, God, you're so chatty. And it's like, oh, well, don't make me fucking feel bad about it. I've got questions, I've got things to say, I've got jokes. And it's like, you know, it's all of it's fucking hard. And yeah, you're so funny. You don't want to be a Libra about it. I married a fucking Libra. This is all it is all the time.
Just the Libra lawyers arguing all the cases of, well, you know this, but also this. Can't help it.
Yeah, yeah. And then he was like, well, what do you think? I'm like, I think I need, uh,
No, I'm sorry. I
the
probably made it so
brain
much worse
cannot
because I probably just
compute.
did all the same shit he did.
Oh my God. And it's like 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, Liz. I mean, really, give a
I
bitch
know,
a
I'm
break.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so high right now. I just can't shut my mouth up,
Oh, God
apparently.
bless. God bless you. I really wanted a coffee, but I don't.
I
Bobby's
almost got a
sleeping on the
coffee.
couch in the living room, and like I can't get to the kitchen to make my coffee. I don't want an energy drink because I want something warm, and it's raining, and apparently we're supposed to get thunder and lightning and possibly hail. I don't.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I'm excited. I just want to bake cookies and snuggle. You know, kids probably won't let me do that. Well, the little one might. She lets me snuggle her sometimes.
If you do decide to go the homeschooling route, or like either way, there's a TikTok account I'll send you. Because there's this woman I follow, she's just like genuinely healing like me with the way she parents her kids. Like I love seeing the way she parents them. She very
God
much is
bless.
like
Okay,
the
niche.
healthy, gentle parenting, like Montessori style. Her kids are like 4 and 6, and they're cooking better meals than I could ever fucking cook, like on the stove. Like
Bitch,
they're like
love.
super advanced for their age. One of her kids speaks like 4 or 5 languages, or something like that. Like he's just like teaching himself all these fucking languages. But she's homeschooling them because they also have a lot of like special needs. Like I think they're also like all like neurodivergent, or like there's all just
Hmm.
like different stuff too. So like she's homeschooling them, and I think she has resources and stuff that I can send you if you want to look
Oh yeah,
into.
cool. Yeah, somebody I met at the zoo sent me something, and I was like looking at it, and then because I didn't like mark it as unread, I lost track of it. And you know how it is when you have ADHD.
Yeah.
You know, it
Literally why my Chrome browser
warps.
has so many open tabs, because if I close them, they're never coming back.
Dead ass. Oh my God. And I try to explain this to Bobby, who, like, obviously, like, his neurodivergence is a little bit different. But I'm like, oh man, I got 28 tabs open. Whew, what a relief, because I had 34. I closed a few. And he's like, how do you survive like this? How do you do this? He like closes every single fucking tab because his like autism's like, we got a clean slate, clean slate.
Hmm.
Stresses him out. Actually, I do it just to fuck with him sometimes. I'm like, I have 36 tabs open. You bitch. And he has to pop a Xanax because I also told him, like, my phone is at 15%. And he's like, why would you do this to me? I'm trying to relax.
I will see what's kind of
I'm
funny
such a
is,
bitch.
no, I fucking love that because that's something I would definitely do if I had a husband. Because that's the whole point. I do that to my best friend actually, because he fucking hates like when my phone battery is low or like my gas is low. So I'm like, guess how low my gas is? Guess how long it's been since my last oil change? You know, like shit like that. Um, but I will say, I feel like the autism and the ADHD in my brain definitely love to piss each other off sometimes. Because, like, the ADHD in me, like, needs all the tabs, like, loves all that shit too. But then sometimes the autism is like, why are we so messy? Like, hate this, hate this, hate this. Like, tries to, like, clean everything up, but then fucks over the ADHD by, like, cleaning things up too well. So then they just, like, go back and forth.
Forgot.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Do you ever feel like sometimes you're just, like, sitting in your brain watching, like, a tennis match or something go back and forth?
Oh my God, yes. And then people are like, why are you so lazy? Why are you just sitting there? I'm like, no, no, we are at war.
Yep.
You think
I'm
I'm
like, I
sitting
will
on the
be with
couch
you
doing
shortly.
nothing. I am trying really hard to get myself into a different gear because
Yep.
Oh, it's not a fun time here. It is not a fun time. I am having the struggles. It's so hard.
Like, we are mediating, we're doing all the things. So much work.
Yeah.
I also used to feel so like weird or insane for always feeling a detachment or like a third person perspective towards like my brain and my body until I finally
Oh,
joined fucking TikTok and realized that that's apparently just normal. It's just like a neurodivergent thing. Apparently, I was just
yeah.
surrounded by
It's a
neurotypicals who made that weird.
fucking neurotypical. And then there are the other neurodivergents who don't understand your neurodivergence, and that's where it's like I remember like growing up, I said something, I was like, "This tastes like the smell of," and my family laughed at me, and they're like, "That's not how anything works." Okay, that sentence didn't make sense, and I was like, "It literally did to me." And then in high school, like I learned about synesthesia, and I was like, "I fucking told you it tasted like the smell of," you know.
Mhm. I really just don't understand why people love to just immediately go no when like something is foreign, like when they can't understand it. Like, oh, well, I don't have that, so no, like that can't be real. Like
You're such
I
a
don't
fucking
get that.
narcissist. You're not the epitome. You're not the epitome of human interaction
Yeah,
and human experience. Like, eat my ass.
literally all of
You know,
us are designed differently. Like, it's
yeah,
science.
yeah. Literally, it's science. I learned about it in school, and so, and I just actually, I've noticed that I've said that a couple times. Like, lick the entirety of my asshole and eat my ass, and like, I think maybe I'm saying something wrong because some people are probably like. You could probably enjoy that. But sorry,
Bobby,
that's not. Let me just get
just go
fucked
wake
with a
up your
spike
husband.
club. No loop. Yeah, it's like, why do you keep saying this, bitch? Like, are you okay? Like, do you need something? Sorry, what I mean to say is you can get fucked with a spiked club, no lube. See, that sounds less fun. Lick the entirety of my asshole. Like, I don't understand how that's a punishment.
Yeah, yeah. But
So
also, I'm
sorry.
sure there's somebody that would probably put a spiked club up their asshole too.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
There, how many stories are there of people putting glass up their ass? So,
I gotta just stop talking because I've learned that I'm a master manifester, and some of the shit I say I used to joke, right? Working in retail, I used to joke about like, oh, fuck, we need a panda, we need a plague, we need a fucking plague, because some of these motherfuckers gotta go. And then all of a sudden COVID hit, and I was like,
yep.
I'm so sorry. And actually, okay, so I had like a bout of imposter syndrome this week, right? Because new moon, these are some things I was manifesting, whatever, and like I was like, I'm grounded. That was one of my manifestations, right? I'm so grounded. And yesterday I was not grounded, and I was like, why does this keep happening to me? Why am I being triggered like this? I manifested being grounded. And I was in the shower, with my soup water and just fucking hot and melting off a layer of my skin. And I was like, oh, I am a master manifester. I'm being triggered with the opportunity to show up for myself and ground my goddamn self. Okay? It's not just like, this is what I wished for, and then all of a sudden there's a bowl of fruit in front of my fucking face, like out of nowhere. It's like, yes, you're manifesting, but also you have to do the work for these manifestations. It's like, so, though I don't know what
You're
I did
manifesting the
to,
opportunity to get what you
exactly,
want.
Exactly, exactly. And I was like, oh, I'm a master manifester. I don't know why I doubted myself. Like everything that I asked for is coming to fruition, and I just need to recognize that these are the opportunities for growth. These are the opportunities to do the shit myself. And so what I want, I am. And that's it. I want
Hell
to
yeah.
be grounded. I am grounded. I want
You are
to,
grounded.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I keep getting excited about like little things getting all up in my head, but like that's okay because
That's normal. That's
that's
life.
ebbing and flowing. That's ebbing and
Yeah.
flowing. That's
Well,
what
you
it
gotta have
is.
all the elements in there. You know, the grounded's the earth energy, but you gotta have a little bit of fire because that keeps things exciting, keeps you moving, keeps you
Hey, and
alive.
I just yeah, and I just pulled the I'm trying to get it into focus. I just pulled the Empress tarot card.
Hell yeah.
So like here we are, like we're just creating, owning. Yeah, we. This is the manifestation. This is. It's
I'm
more
really
than that.
proud of you.
It's the accountability. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying. And honestly, I think why I'm so like I've been rattled. My husband's leaving for a fucking week. And, yeah, and I'm trying to be like one and complete with myself, but also that's my home. He's my home, and so when he's gone, I'm like, how do I
No, and it's
handle?
hard. Your routines are gonna be off. They're gonna be different because he's not
Yeah,
gonna be
and I've
there.
got both
Like,
kids by myself. Well, not by myself. Like I've got my mother-in-law, but
but still, like,
still,
it still is a different element. There is still one person missing,
yeah,
and again, like the routines, like he's your home. Like it's always just fucking an adjustment.
yeah. And the kids are as like needy about him as I am. Throughout the day, they're like, Bo's like, is Daddy home? And then Elizabeth looks at the door. She's like, is it da da? That's her favorite fucking word, da. And she runs to him when he gets home. It's fucking funny. It's cute. But yeah, so I don't know how they'll handle it. I'm in control of my own reactions, right? But I worry about how the kids will handle it, not being around them. You know?
At least,
Mm.
like in this day and age, we have FaceTime. Like I think about that a lot.
Yes.
Like I'm so grateful. Like as much as I hate modern technology, it is so fucking nice to be able to have that convenience to face, long distance, see the people you love, you know?
Yeah. It is nice. You know what I really want for us, Liz? I want us let's have like a facial.
Dude, I'm done. I've been dying for like a deep tissue massage. Now that I
Here.
finally like I'm done
Yeah.
moving my shit, I'm like I need a fucking massage. My
We need
body
some
hurts.
self-care up in this bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that.
I love that idea.
Self-care.
I'm so down. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I finally am like, dude, I swear, my autistic ass, I knew I just needed a permanent, like, home or, like a more permanent
Yeah.
nest. Like, the ADHD in me thought the
Natty.
Airbnb solution was great, but, like, the second I got, like, stability, whew,
Yeah.
I can breathe.
Yeah. Relief. Fucking relief. And now you can like unclench the asshole.
No, I'm
And
like, I got,
just
like, my last
ex
suitcase here yesterday. I'm, like, all of a sudden writing more, posting more. Like, I have all these
as I
ideas
feel.
now.
Yeah. All of it.
We got this. We're
Shirt's
crushing it.
coming soon.
Yes.
Okay. I need a nap.
Go
I'm
take your
fading.
nap.
I'm
Do your
sorry.
thing.
I'm hungry.
No, do your thing. We're crushing it. Go take care of
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
I
we
love
are.
you.
Thank you. I love
I'm
you.
proud of you. Mwah.
I'm proud of you. Thanks for being here for me and
Thank
with me.
you. Thank you. Now go. Oh God.
Okay.